Let us center ourselves by singing this song by Rev. Sky St. John called Freedom. Freedom from the darkness, freedom from the fear. Would you sing that with me? Freedom from the darkness, freedom from the fear, freedom from the fear, freedom from the darkness, freedom from the fear. Last time, freedom from the darkness, freedom from the fear, freedom, oh freedom, forever free. Sing that with me. Freedom, oh freedom, forever free, forever free. Freedom, oh freedom, forever free. Again. Freedom, oh freedom, forever free.
So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just become aware of your breath. Focus on this idea of freedom. I am free through my awareness of God. I am free through my awareness of God. And if you're willing to this morning, I want to invite you with your next inhalation and exhalation to shift the vibration of every cell of your physical being to gratitude and give thanks for that transcendent awareness of God, of good unfolding in this manifest world. Gratitude for the beauty that is unfolding in every moment. Awaiting us to see it, to hear it, to smell it, to breathe in the essence of beauty, of life, of love. That transcendent experience of order, of wisdom, of power. And if you're willing this morning with your next in-breath, be aware that you are breathing in that wisdom, that will, that order, that zeal. You are breathing in the Spirit of God. That presence, that transcendent experience is fully alive in you and in me. I am free through my awareness of God in me. I am free with my awareness of God as me. And as we take a moment and we sit in the stillness and in the silence, there are thoughts, beliefs, ideas that may pull us away from this absolute truth. And that is why we sit in the silence and in the stillness, so that we can see that those thoughts show up and that we can release them into the stream of consciousness to be washed away, that we may be clean in thought, that we may align our words and our actions with truth. So now, as a community of believers, let's pause and relax into the awareness, that spark burning in us that we call the Christ, that embodiment of God in us, in the stillness. As I bring my full attention and awareness to the presence of God, I experience freedom. I am free in the Spirit. Oh, that was your phone. Oh, I thought that was this computer once again. Laughter really is the best medicine. Friends online, someone's cell phone, Siri just shouted out to the whole room. I didn't understand that. And so it is. And so it is. Who liked laughing like that? Felt good today to laugh like that. You can do that every Wednesday at Laughter Club. And if you have not experienced Laughter Club, when things like that happen, we have a rule. Don't we, Betsy? When crazy things happen, we always have to go, very good, yay. Okay. Let's have another song. Y'all ready for another song? 3, pre-talk.
When you are in doubt and darkness surrounds you, pray. When heartache consumes you and no one to turn to, pray. I listen to your pain. I hear you call my name. There's no judgment in my eyes, just a purifying flame. Come unto me, oh, all weary, pray. Reach out your hand and I'm gonna carry you, pray. Come unto me, oh, all weary, pray, and I will give you rest. When problems engulf you and everyone depends on you, pray. When guilt suffocates you and loved ones desert you, pray. I feel you tear apart. Fear is gripping at your heart. There is a refuge in my eyes. Come to me, I'm where you start. Come unto me, oh, are weary, pray. Reach out your hand and I'm gonna carry you, pray. Come unto me, oh, are weary, pray, and I
Doesn't quite feel right to clap after that. But that really moves me. Do y'all know that there is a full moon tonight? The blood corn moon. It's the full moon of the harvest. The corn is ready to harvest. It's a blood moon because there is an eclipse tonight. And I was reminded of how the full moon is tied to transformation this week. Y'all know that I work with some young people who have some big emotional stuff, and some adults that have some big emotional stuff. And one of the young people at the school this week was having some big feelings and didn't want to do what it was time to do. And one of the other teachers said, "Hey, seems like you're having some really big feelings, huh? Who are you, Mr. Todd?" I swear I think that guy's a werewolf. And that was the best part of my week. That someone found out that I'm a werewolf. I said, if he goes missing, it has nothing to do with the fact that he told everyone the truth. But that same transformation that is that happens under the full moon for the mystical werewolf, or maybe it's not mystical, mythical. I haven't met one yet that I know of. But that same transformation is available to us because, I mean, the transformation of the self into the wolf is that transformation into the carnal mind. That transformation into the very base of our nature, being fully human. And everything here in the material world, well, not everything, but almost everything here in the material world would have us latch on to ideas that have us rooted in our human experience. And we are fully human in expression. And the truth is that we are also fully divine. It's a paradox. We are fully divine. Fully. And the Christ mind that was in our way shower, Jesus, that Christ mind exists in and as us as well. Here and now. Sometimes I talk about it as potential because it's there fully, and it is the potential of us. We have to bring our full awareness and attention to that and get rid of the errant ideas that get in the way of us living from the truth. Get rid of those errant ideas that would allow us to metaphorically walk on water, to be held up and supported by the very substance. Right? Last week our water was our awareness. Our awareness of divine substance supports us in this journey. In a book called or pamphlet, one of those old time Unity booklets, Effectual Prayer. Some of you may be aware. I've used her name before. Frances Folks. It may come through physical suffering, through heartache, or through some failure to accomplish a great desire. It may come while one is undergoing great stress or strain or temptation, or when one is submerged in some personal grief or bereavement. Strange as it may seem, a great desire to enter into close communion with God rarely comes first through joy. During prosperity and success, youth and health, for at these times there is a certain sense of security when one seems sufficient into oneself. When things look good, we sometimes forget to pray. And then sometimes when things look bad, we want to pray, and we want to pray that out there changes, or that person changes. Y'all ever done that? It doesn't work that way, does it? Because prayer is not about seeking change. Prayer is about increasing in us an awareness of truth, of who we are, of awakening in us our divine presence. And we are fully divine. Just like we're fully human in expression, we are fully divine in consciousness. And we bring our full awareness into this space. And prayer is about knowing that divinity within ourselves, aligning ourselves to the truth. And that changes us in consciousness. Life is consciousness. And so when we bring our full awareness and attention to that, what is in us starts to blossom into the beauty of truth. We become aware that we are free as the presence of God. Free from lack and limitation, dis-ease. Our co-founder, right? She lived this truth. She had a demonstration. If I can read her words, if I can find them on all these notes that I have. Myrtle she was told, you have tuberculosis. You are sick. And then she went and she heard a talk from E.B. Weeks. Some of y'all know this story, yes? Yes, he goes to see E.B. Weeks, and she's listening to this talk, and Charles is with her. But she hears this statement from E.B. Weeks. I am a divine child of God, and I cannot inherit disease. As a divine child of God, I cannot inherit disease. She'd been told that she had tuberculosis and that she had inherited it from family, and that was way back when we really didn't understand how some things worked. And of course, tuberculosis is not an inheritable disease. However, she was a sickly child. I remember reading a Wayne Dyer book when I was, started learning about the power of our thoughts, the power of our intentions, the power of our awareness. And Wayne Dyer said that, when he was growing up in an orphanage, that they said, you can't leave the window open at night because you'll get a cold. Like we get programmed that you're going to be sick. And he was like, no, he refused to buy into that. And he'd sleep with the window open and it would be cool and wonderful. And he wouldn't catch a cold because he had decided that is not true. and using that very self-same kind of idea, Myrtle went home ill and went back to where she lived, and she sat down in a chair for hours every day, 2 or 3 hours every day, and she sat in the stillness and in the silence and used her faculty of imagination. I don't think it had been labeled that yet, because this was before Charles started writing. This happened. This was the precursor to Charles picking up a pen and beginning to write about New Thought, before he started studying the metaphysical understanding of our Hebrew and Christian scriptures. And Myrtle sat in the stillness and in the silence, and using her faculty of imagination, her faculty of power, her use of will and order, and she went to every cell in her body and affirmed its health, its wholeness. I am a divine child of God. I cannot inherit disease. And she miraculously healed this ailment and lived, I believe it was till she was 86. Till she was 86. And then one afternoon she walked around. If you don't know the story, by then they had bought a farm and they had Unity Village, and she walked around the farm and went to everyone, and she hugged them and she blessed them, and she said, "I'm leaving." And before the next morning, she had died in her sleep. Someone said to me this week, "Wouldn't it be great if we stopped saying that people died and we said, oh, they figured it out and they got to go on? They figured it out and they got to go on." And it reminded me of when my grandfather passed away. He'd had a brain tumor, and all of his children were gathered there. His wife, my grandmother, had died a year earlier, and my grandfather had brain surgery to remove a tumor. And the doctor came and told everyone the surgery went really well. He is in recovery. You should be able to see him in a couple of hours. And so everyone went to the cafeteria to have a cup of coffee and to relax, because they were this was a scary thing. Brain surgery can be a scary thing for people. And then later the doctor showed up. And I remember my mother telling me through her sobs that the doctor showed up and said, "I'm so sorry, he expired," like he was a carton of milk. It's funny, isn't it? We have to laugh at these things. He said he had expired, and instead, oh, how joyful it would be if we said, "Oh, they figured it out." Myrtle healed herself and then lived to 86 when people around her had told her that she had inherited disease. Wayne Dyer opened the window so it would be cooler to sleep at night, and I'm projecting into this, because I'm thinking about when I didn't get to control the heat and the temperature in my room. When I was in college and we had dorms, we didn't have air conditioning in my dorms back then in the mountains of Virginia, and they would turn on the heat in the wintertime, those old steam radiators. Good Lord, it was hot. And then sleep with the windows open, and I didn't get sick. All these things get dropped into our consciousness, oftentimes from well-meaning, lovely people who want nothing but the best for us. And just like those wildflower seeds that y'all say I put too many in a pot a couple weeks ago, just like those seeds, if these ideas and these thoughts find fertile soil in our consciousness, they begin to grow. And they limit us. And so we have to become aware that our use of prayer is about shifting our belief in ourselves, shifting our belief in our union with God. Absolute good, unconditional love. Because God is absolute. And absolute means unchanging. God's not going to change. And the part of you in consciousness that is God is unchanging. Absolute good, unconditional love, unlimited. And what's in the way is the stuff in our head and sometimes the stuff in our heart. And then when, the right conditions happen, the moon turns full, you get to make a choice. Will you be standing in the full carnal human nature of who you are, or will you turn into the light and be one with truth and know the inherent power? Can you turn towards the light and commune? You use your power of prayer to commune with the fullness of the universe that is breathing each and every one of us right now. Prayer is not about pleading to make things different. It's about transformation. It's about aligning us with order and will. We still have our free will, and yet there is this divineness. There is this divineness that is showing up. Because the earth still rotates, and then it circles the sun, and then the sun and all the other planets. The universe is still spinning. No matter what we think about it. No matter even if we, maybe believe that, the earth is the center. And some of us here in Playground Planet Earth still believe that. No matter the astrophysicists that tell us otherwise. Prayer is about our own transformation that is possible in this incredible experience of life. And sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes for me, it's like I think about this possibility of transformation, this possibility of what is available, and I locate, they show up with like a glaring spotlight, um, this lack, limitation, worthiness, something's missing. I'm not Myrtle Fillmore. I'm not like Myrtle. Who do I think I am? I'm not like Jesus. Well, he said otherwise. Everything I can do, y'all can do once you figure out who you are. Once you understand that when I say the Father and I are one, it means that we are of one divine mind. And that divine mind there's only one. And we are all individualized expressions of that one mind. And so, I'm reminded that I can do an empirical trial, right? Because, unity is on this cutting edge where it's, it is spiritual and it is science. It is, figure it out for yourselves, friends. And I went looking for these ideas of healing, these ideas of wholeness, how it shows up, and I came across a story of David Sapp in an article that he wrote. It's on unity.org, and you can find it. A story of healing. David lived with multiple sclerosis for more than 25 years. And in 1993, the disease kicked into full gear, rendering him a quadriplegic within 10 years. That'll be a wake-up call, wouldn't it? This is his line bolded in this article. The bottom line is that I believed in the power of multiple sclerosis. How often do we place our faith in the lack and limitation that appears here in the physical world, the lack and limitation that shows up in our physical, full human experience? Because that's what happened there, right? But then in the spring of 2005, several things came together, and he decided to dedicate his life to the healing principles developed by Myrtle Fillmore. Here it is. She said, I was once an emaciated little woman upon whom relatives and doctors had placed the stamp TB, or tuberculosis. Soon, however, she realized that life was of God, and that we are inseparably one with the source, and that we inherited health from a divine and perfect Father-Mother. And so Myrtle began to live with God and to talk with God, and her healing came approximately 2 years later. 2 years, Todd? You mean I got to sit in the silence for 2 years to figure this stuff out? Yes, maybe. Or maybe it'll be 40 years, right? Metaphysically, as long as it takes. As long as it takes. Because the truth is in there. That awareness is there that you are one with the one. And prayer is about bringing our attention to that truth. It is about transforming us to be the Christ we are called to be. So David followed that idea, right? He dedicated his body to spiritual science because he had no idea what the outcome would be. Slowly and surely, a transformation of self began. And it was 18, I don't know when this was printed, but at some point, his neurologist told him that the multiple sclerosis was inactive. And it was the first time in 25 years that the word inactive had been used to describe the condition. The condition exists. It has no power in my life. Denial. I am one with the Spirit. Affirmation. Bringing us back to the truth of who we are. Eliminating the lack, the limitation, the dis-ease, the illness. And still, as I sit here, I'm reminded of my friend Joe, who eventually succumbed to his diagnosis of Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. Sometimes healing is of the spirit and not of the body. Sometimes healing is becoming aware that we are one with the one. And when we become aware that we are one with the one, We really have to put our faith in that. And then see what's next. Because the truth is, eventually, every single one of us, we're going to figure it out. Right? We're going to figure it out. Then we're really going to know that we know that we know. But until then, take your time every day and pray. Walk with God, talk with God. Use your faculty of imagination and go to every single cell in your body and know that it is filled with life, that it is filled with wholeness, that it is the very presence of love. And watch yourself transform. Watch yourself transform. And then, just as the full moon is reflecting the light of the sun, you will reflect the light of the Christ. And as you reflect that light, you will inspire others to transform. And that will be a beautiful day. Thanks for letting me share today, friends. I love you all.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. If you know it, sing along with me. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I'm stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step